Hey guys, today I'm bringing here with another video. Some of you guys were asking about officer MOSs, what those are about a little bit. And there's actually one of the guys who has subscribed to my channel is currently he is at OCS right now to go become a Marine Corps officer. And I just asked him to kind of go into detail on it a little bit for me. And so I'm literally going to read his response to me just verbatim. So here we go. And he goes, the 2 or 3 basic categories of officer MOSs are Marine Air, Ground, and Law. Marine Law is a category for JAGs, basically a lawyer, military lawyer. And he goes, I'm sure you've dealt with them, so I won't get too specific for that. But they take them after you finish law school, so they're essentially lawyers. For Marine Air, basically every Marine officer in that MOS is a pilot, and there's a tiny bit of Marine NFO, the co-pilot in charge of all the weapon systems. Usually they get to fly up until the rank of colonel, possibly lieutenant colonel, but he said colonel here. For Marine ground, there's a bit more to it. There's artillery, which is what I did, the artillery officers. Logistics, which are the guys that figure out supplies, figure out moving all that sort of stuff around. Armor, so tanks, and infantry officers, so LAR, rifle platoons, and weapons platoons. And through these, this particular infantry ground officer, Marine officers can then try to go to recon or MARSOC. To get these MOSs, you have to commission from ROTC or the Naval Academy as a second lieutenant, and then go to OCS and TBS, the basic school, which teaches you infantry type stuff. If you go through the academy, you go directly to TBS because of the training at the academy with Marines on the yard, and mainly due to summer training called Leatherneck. Leatherneck is a summer training prospective Marine officers, juniors at the academy. So the academy is a 4-year deal, and so the juniors will do this training. They get screened to go through the summer training in the summer before their senior year. So basically before you become a senior. Yep. Leatherneck is mostly run by gunnies and captains on shore duty, and basically it combines OCS, TBS, and they use that as a way to screen you because you're being evaluated constantly there. Then using your evaluation, your performance, Marines can put in for a board to get Marine Air or Marine Ground contract going into TBS after you graduate the academy. TBS is 26 weeks long, and every Marine officer goes through it, and it combines the entire land warfare component that the Marine Corps has. Based on your contract, air or ground, your eval, TBS, the needs of the Corps, you get your specific MOS. He goes, since I'm in the Semper Fi Society and a good amount of infantry, recon, and MARSOC officers have talked to us, I'm going to explain the next path from the Marine ground perspective. However, for Marine Air, if you get picked, you go to Pensacola for flight school. You learn to get screened for an aircraft or a helicopter. After TBS, you go to IOC, infantry officers course. He goes, I forget how long it was, but you almost all the trainees under live fire platoon movement and leadership. The school is sort of spooky because the transformation Marine officers told us it has. The only thing that's known about the course is that the screen for second lieutenants is to start the course is one of the hardest things the Corps has to offer. If you're in the top 5 to 10% of your IOS graduating class, there's a rare chance of going to BRC, which is Basic Recon School. But for most Marine officers, Recon and MARSOC don't look at you until you have been in for 5 years or so as an outstanding officer. Captain Fick, who is Lieutenant Fick in Generation Kill, if you've seen that, he's talked to this guy here, to his class, and so they've had him in there to talk, and so he's an excellent infantry officer. Definitely a great platoon commander. He told us that the point of an excelling officer has about 3 combat deployments. He told us by that point, an excelling officer has about 3 combat deployments as a platoon commander and an XO of a rifle, weapons, or LAR company. Then, in those pipelines, you get to become a special operations officer. Captain Fick basically told us that you get to be operational in the ground MOSs until 04 or so, which, if you guys know, is major. But after that, it becomes your responsibility of handling high admin staff in order to go on operational deployments. For example, he mentioned about a recon colonel that died a few years ago who he knew and followed his strategy of leading from the front. The colonel always tried to be in front as much as possible. If not, he'd be on QRF, which is a quick reaction force. Where basically, if a platoon gets hit and are having trouble, they call QRF, and these guys come as backup, essentially. Which is how this particular colonel passed away during a QRF mission. So basically, the backup came in to assist the main unit that had been hit, and he was killed during that fighting. So that is somewhat the breakdown of Marine Officer MOS's. Let's see. And then he goes on just to tell me more about their day and stuff. But it's basically it is difficult to become a Marine officer in general, but then to get infantry, you have to be on top of your game if you want to be an infantry officer, because it's not an easy thing. There's a lot that an infantry officer is taking into consideration when they fight, and so they really only want the best, plain and simple. But if you guys have any more questions, let me know on this. If any of you guys are infantry and can speak to more on what the officers do, stuff like that, by all means, hit me up. And I'll do my best to answer it. Obviously, I'm not infantry, so I can't go into a ton of detail on it. But I do have infantry friends that I can reference should I need to. So hit me up. And as always, I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.